The Dogs brought their bats to Nashville last night. 7 homers, including 3 off Kamar Rocker in a dominant 14-2 win over the #1 team in the country. Beautiful Friday night in Nashville for Game 2 of this SEC Weekend Series. The #1 ranked Vanderbilt Commodores dropped the opener against the unranked Georgia Bulldogs. Good evening, everybody. Max Erz along with former Vandy infielder Andrew Harris. And Andrew, shocker last night, 14-2 Georgia with a blowout win.
Yeah, Georgia just came in and said, hey, Rocker, we don't care about your record, and just punched him straight in the face, and Vandy just was not able to recover. Leiter has a tall order tonight.
It was the first loss all year for Vandy with either Rocker or Leiter starting a game. Tonight it's Jack Leiter, who did not allow a hit in his first 20 SEC innings over his last 3 starts combined.
Yeah, Leiter last week against LSU, 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, and you see right there, that's the first hit given up in 20 SEC innings. And right after that, a home run. That's his first extra base hit of his entire SEC career. Unbelievable, and Jack Leiter has a tall order tonight, as we mentioned.
Leiter back on the home mound here at Hawkins Field tonight, and over the last 2 seasons, he has been amazing here at home. This is Vanderbilt's second home SEC series. In his first and only home SEC start, he no-hit South Carolina. So Leiter back on the mound today with a 7-0 record against this Georgia lineup that hit the most home runs they've ever hit in an SEC game last night. 7 bombs, including 3 off Kamar Rocker. Only change in the Dog lineup is in the 9-hole. Shane Marshall is catching today after Fernando Gonzalez caught last night. Georgia had back-to-back homers in the 9th inning, a 3-run homer in the first. Connor Tate and Garrett Blaylock each had a pair. Certainly a shocker to this Vanderbilt team that was 24-3 coming in.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Georgia. I mean, I know that they probably watched a lot of tape on Rocker, and they've watched a lot of tape on a lot of these pitchers, but they came out aggressive.
It's our SEC umpiring crew. Tyler Simpson behind the dish tonight for Jack Leiter. It is a gorgeous evening in Nashville. Temperature in the high 70s, some rain expected overnight, but we are clear for now and ready for ball. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Georgia 4-6 in SEC play. Vanderbilt, the last team to suffer their second SEC loss. That came last night. The Doors are now 8-2. Ben Anderson starts things off against Leiter. He was one of the 5 home run hitters. Hit his first ever homer for the Dogs in that 9th inning. It was the 7th and final Jack. Final homer of the game. It was a big one.
Yeah, and just one of the 7 last night, and every single one of them was a no-doubter. I mean, these guys absolutely unleashed on this Vanderbilt pitching staff. But the big thing tonight, really just to look at, who's going to draw first blood. I mean, Georgia drew first blood yesterday, and Leiter kind of has the order to try and shut them down early and really get that pitch count up and go deep in the game tonight.
Anderson, the redshirt junior, started 26 of the first 30 games in center field and been the leadoff man in 24 of those. Started his college career at Furman, was their starting center fielder as a freshman in 2018. This is his 2nd year playing for the Dogs, 3rd year at Georgia, including a redshirt. 2-2.
Yeah, Coach Strickland said, I mean, if they're going to get their offense going, it's going to start with Ben Anderson, and he's really kind of the spark plug that gets everybody going. That's what he did last night. He was able to lead off the game with the hit and get this offense rolling.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jack Leiter strikes out his first batter with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, pump the juice up a little bit with the fastball, elevated just a little bit. You'll see him use that good fastball arm side, especially those left-handers. He's got that good slider to the right-handers and mixes in the breaking ball and a cutter. We saw a lot of cutters last weekend against LSU. A huge arsenal from Leiter, and that's just really what makes him so difficult to hit off of.
Cole Tate, the senior shortstop, takes a fastball down and away. 0 for 3 with a couple of walks, scored twice yesterday. Senior from Bishop, Georgia, his twin brother Connor hits 4th. Both of them starting here in their senior seasons. Second straight batter, Andrew, that Leiter's fallen behind 2-0. He said after his start last week against LSU, struggles in the first inning have been a bit of a theme for him.
Yeah, I think he gets a little bit jacked up. He gets excited, and once he gets settled in, he usually settles in okay. But see him pitch into contact and letting that defense work behind him.
Enrique Bradfield Jr. makes the catch, freshman center fielder, on the first ball in play. Leiter said his early key is finding a comfortable spot on the mound, getting into his body and mechanics. And he said the challenge is to do that before giving up a run. He's done that every time.
Yeah, definitely a guy who works well out of the windup and works very quickly. So sometimes he can work himself into a hole quickly because he does, come one after another.
Corey Collins, the freshman dog DH, hits third. Last night, the first 4 batters reached for Georgia, including a 3-run homer by Collins. 5 home runs through his first 26 collegiate games. Five strikes, 5 balls for Leiter so far, and 2 up, 2 down. Two and one.
And when Leiter's really on, he's able to work both sides of the plate, also work bottom part of the plate, upper part of the plate. Really have good command of that fastball. Just takes him a little bit of time to get in that groove.
Breaking ball makes it 2-2.
But regardless of the fastball, that slider, as we just saw there, usually right on point. Really tough to pick off, got some late break. Really looks like the fastball out of the hand, so it's tough to make that decision as a hitter.
Collins stays alive. Fastball clocked at 98 on our radar gun.
We have seen here at Hawkins Field that the first inning, those guns seem to be a little bit hot, so I don't know if those are completely accurate, but that ball is flying in there pretty quickly. I'd say it's more up there about 95, but we'll see how they go as the day goes on.
Appeal to third. Yes, he did on the swing, says Jeffrey Macias. A 1-2-3 first inning for Jack Leiter with a couple of Ks.
Yeah, take a look at the slider right here, right on the inside corner. Got the swing. Fantastic job by Leiter, and Vandy coming to bat here.
1-2-3, top of the first for Jack Leiter with the #1 ranked Commodores coming to bat, trying to even up this 3-game series. I'm Max Hers with Andrew Harris here on SEC Network Plus. Thanks so much for joining us. UGA's #1 healthy starter on the mound. That is senior left-hander Ryan Webb in a full-time starting role this season after a delayed start to the year. He's worked his way back into full form. Starting next week, he'll be their Friday guy with C.J. Smith continuing to be out.
Yeah, Webb, you see the numbers on the year. 42 strikeouts to 11 walks, good numbers, but a good fastball from that left side and a nice kind of slurvy 3/4 breaking ball, a good changeup too, but really kind of comes from a high angle, so going to have some tough work for these Commodores.
Vandy going with the same lineup as yesterday. Enrique Bradfield leading off at the top of the lineup once again. Carter Young's been in the 2-hole every game. Keegan, Bolger, Rodriguez, Noland in the middle. Gonzalez moved up from 9th to 7th yesterday. Spencer Jones in the DH spot for the 5th consecutive game with Isaiah Thomas and Cooper Davis both out. And freshman right fielder Calvin Hewitt made his first college start yesterday, got a couple of plate appearances. He is back in there in right field this evening.
Hey, look through that lineup and you just got to think, yeah, there's a lot of guys in there that we saw a few weeks ago that aren't in there, but kind of struggling with a few injuries. I mean, Georgia, no stranger to injuries as well,
yeah.
Pitching-wise and offensively. So a couple teams a little bit banged up, but still performing at some high levels.
Both teams without their starting second baseman. Vandy also without 2 of their 3 starting outfielders. Bradfield's in there, and he grounds it right to Cheney Rogers at first. Enrique Bradfield was 0 for 4 last night. That is a rarity to keep him off the bases.
Yeah, he was aggressive coming out here first pitch swinging. As you mentioned, right to Rogers. Rogers actually playing in a little bit, trying to field the bunt, but they would just get right next to him.
Carter Young has hit second and played shortstop in all 29 games for the Commodores. Sophomore switch hitter, hitting .322. 7 homers to lead Vandy. Not many saw that coming, even internally.
Right. I mean, no Young's ability defensively. We saw a lot of that last year, and offensively we saw him spraying the ball over the field, but the power has really come this year. He's gotten stronger, and with the strength also comes just pitch recognition and kind of that contact point. So with the more ABs, he's able to make better contact with, and some of those balls that might have gone in the gaps or just been easy pop flies, catch some backspin and kind of ride out of here. And so he's had a couple of no-doubters, but a lot of those other ones are ones that just kind of catch a wind and run out of here. But defensively, he's been solid, and Tim Corbin really likes him in that second spot.
Anderson measures this one in center. 2 up, 2 down for Ryan Webb. Very different first inning so far than we had last night. Georgia scored 3 runs in the top of the first. Vandy got 1 back in the bottom. But so far, 5 up, 5 down here in game 2. Dominic Keegan, the junior first baseman, started 22 games at that spot. The majority of them have been in the heart of the lineup. 2 for 4 on base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk yesterday.
You see 94 there on the gun. I still think that gun is a little bit hot, but Webb really pumping up that strike zone. Webb is off of the pitch count and kind of restrictions from the beginning of the year, so they're going to try and ride him pretty long into this game. And Max, you mentioned that Webb was supposed to be kind of the Friday night starter and probably would have faced off against Rocker yesterday, but started a little bit later because of Webb and Cannon both had COVID, and one had mono, so they kind of got a late start and are just moving back towards that normal rotation at the end of the year.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. We got a pitcher's duel brewing in Nashville. Jack Leiter and Ryan Webb turn in 1, 2, 3 first innings. And a very different feel from yesterday when the bats reigned supreme. 6 up, 6 down combined so far. Top of the second inning, and Jack Leiter back to the bump for the Commodores. 20-year-old draft-eligible sophomore. Could be going #1 in the MLB draft. And more than half of his outs have come via the strikeout, Andrew.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. You look, 129 outs, 73 strikeouts. Not many ground balls. He doesn't get a lot of guys behind him working for him. I mean, he's doing a lot of the work there on the mound. As an infielder, outfielder, you can kind of just sit back and watch it all unfold. I talked with pitching coach Scott Brown about Leiter and kind of the changes that he made from last year to this year, and more than anything, it was just how does he utilize all of the pitches in his arsenal? I mean, he has so many and so many variants or variability with the curveball specifically. You got the slider, and you have one that kind of pops out of the hand, is a little bit more 12-6, but with a good changeup and the electric fastball, what is just how does he utilize those with left-handers and right-handers on a more structured basis? As you see, a good changeup there, just to make sure that we can just have a good plan in place, regardless of what the scouting report says.
Jack Leiter never leaves the rubber, no matter how far away the batter strays. Connor Tate hitting in the 4-hole for the Dogs. Couple of homers last night. First collegiate multi-homer game for Connor Tate. He took Kamar Rocker deep in the 6th to make it 4-1, and then Grayson Moore deep in the 9th to make it 10-2.
Yeah, those are pretty much in the exact same spot, and both, no doubters. And Georgia was teeing off last night. They got to the point last night after the game, Tim Corbin said, after Rocker got out, or even while Rocker was in, it was kind of just home run derby for those guys.
Vandy skipper Tim Corbin said after the 14-2 loss yesterday, "We had squirt guns, they had machine guns. They swung the bats well, and we did not." That last statement is censored.
I was going to say there's a few other words in there, but Georgia really put it on them last night. But I think we talked about this, as we started to enter into SEC play, Max, is some guys that were going to be really key to this Vandy bullpen and this Vandy pitching rotation. And we definitely highlighted Jack Leiter, obviously because of his ability and his talent, but because he's coming right after Rocker and he's pitching on this Saturday, or the second game in the series, he has the opportunity to either win the series if Rocker gets the win, or if Rocker loses, he has the opportunity to really switch the momentum. And so there's a big, tall order for him to really kind of regain the momentum here against Georgia.
Entering the weekend, Vandy was 14-0 in games that Rocker or Leiter had started. Now 14-1. Riley King, the fifth-year senior left fielder. King 2 out of 5 yesterday with the second of those back-to-back-to-back homers in the 9th inning. Georgia won at 14-2 last night. Max Hers and Andrew Harris here for game number 2 of this 3-game series. Swing and a miss. Slider down and away. Leiter gets the chase.
That's just a good look at the pitch to the right-handers. I mean, it's such late break. It's so hard to really pick up. You think it's a fastball by the time you actually make your decision to swing. It's outside the zone. You just have no shot.
Connor Tate walked to start this second. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout for Jack Leiter with the off speed.
Just so many different pitches in the arsenal. Take a look. A little bit of a squeaker on the outside, but as I mentioned, I talked with pitching coach Scott Brown and just about his approach to pitching and Leiter's his various pitches, but he stopped him in the middle of the conversation. He said, what, Andrew, the stuff is just electric. I mean, it really is. I mean, he has such a great stuff that, I mean, he has the ability to get guys out, and I think we've seen that really so far this year.
Starts Garrett Blaylock off with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. 4th straight start at second base for Blaylock, with the regular second baseman Josh McAllister nursing a hamstring. McAllister is on the trip and could play tomorrow. One and one.
Yeah, Coach Strickland was saying just how tough it is to have McAllister out of the lineup, because the guy that kind of holds that lineup together is kind of the glue, but Garrett Blaylock has kind of filled that role, and after the night that he had last night, I mean, heck of a night. 2 home runs for Blaylock. Filling McAllister's dude pretty good.
Blaylock started his collegiate career here at Vanderbilt as a freshman on the 2018 team. Went to JUCO ball at St. John's River for a year. Now 2 seasons with Georgia. Comes back. First game against his former team. 2 dingers.
Yeah, first time back at Hawkins Field, I guess with the new turf as well. Still had turf in 2018, but the newest turf, I guess.
Called strike 3. Strikeout number 4 through just 6 hitters for Leiter.
And this pitch is just absolutely dotted on the outside corner. Take a look, low in the zone. It looked like Rodriguez was actually calling for it a little bit high and trying to get out of the zone, but snuck right back over the plate, and Blaylock nailed to pull the trigger.
Only base runner, a leadoff walk here in the second to Connor Tate. He's still there for Parks Harbor. Harbor, the freshman third baseman. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts last night. This is his 15th straight start at third base. He got hurt sliding in the opener. since he's been healthy. Scott Strickland plugging him in there. He's their third baseman the next 3 years. Big bat in the middle of the lineup going forward. Since Leiter walked the leadoff man, he's only missed the zone once. That 0-1 pitch we thought was a ball to Blaylock was actually a called strike. Back-to-back Ks with Tate over at first. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Lead-off walk and then 3 straight punch-outs for Jack Leiter. Riley King swinging over the slider. Blaylock looking, and Harbor over the slider again. We're scoreless after 1.5. Jack Leiter threw 2 scoreless. Ryan Webb matched him for the Dogs in the first. Vandy and Georgia, game 2 of 3 on a warm, a little bit windy night in Nashville. Not anywhere near as windy as last night. Max Hers and Andrew Harris back, with Ryan Webb getting his final warm-up pitch in. 4, 5, and 6 for the Commodores. Jack Bolger, C.J. Rodriguez, and Parker Noland. Nice night to take in the game, and that may be a record regular season crowd on the Garage.
Yeah, a lot of people up there. Usually they don't see it that packed until, postseason, regional, super regional area, but limited fans inside the stadium, so guys try and get a little action outside. That's a great place to watch a game, by the way. I haven't watched many a game up there.
We may have to count. There may be more fans on the Garage than the 25% capacity in the house. That's pretty cool. Jack Bolger starts off the second inning. Freshman making his 12th start in left field to go with 9 as the DH. Bowie native from Maryland, came into the Vandy program as a catcher. Has shown off his defensive versatility, and he's in there because Tim Corbin wants that bat.
Yeah, a guy that can play a lot of different positions, but has kind of been a mainstay in the order, whether it's up here at 4 or he's played a little bit down in the order, but regardless, a big physical kid, can do a lot with the bat. I mean, he can put the ball on the ground, he can bunt, he can run, can also lose a few balls. We saw him lose one last night.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Webb threw just 9 pitches for a 1-2-3 first. Senior on the mound, freshman in the box. Did he go? Appeal to first. Yes, he did. Michael Banks rings him up, and Webb has his second strikeout.
And that was a good look at the left-handed slider. Take a look at where it starts. All the way in the left-handed batter's box and comes in on the back foot of Bolger. As a right-handed hitter, really hard to lay off of that because it's kind of coming all the way across the plate. As you mentioned, Max Webb, the senior, kind of knows what he's doing up there.
Pitched out of the bullpen the last 2 years. This season, all starts. C.J. Rodriguez early on that one. Tate giving it a look, and it is well out of play. We've got a Vandy football scrimmage going on in that direction right now. They were planning on scrimmaging tomorrow morning to line it up for the spring game next Saturday, but rain the forecast tomorrow morning. Well, Friday night lights.
Yeah, got to have a few heads up for some of those foul balls.
Make sure you're sitting on the other side of the stadium.
Yeah, not a lot of room here at Hawkins Field. That's kind of why the limited foul territory here, because there's really nowhere to go. I mean, but beyond the stands, I mean, it butts up right to the football stadium, and then down right field, it's right up to the road. So they kind of have expanded as much as they can.
Rodriguez grounds this one to Harbor for the second out. 5 up, 5 down for Ryan Webb.
Yeah, Webb's he's done a good job of pitching to contact. Nice hot shot down to Harbor.
Parks Harbor's arm action as a freshman third baseman. Not quite what you'd put in the instructional video, but Scott Strickland has been happy with his ability to glove it and get it over.
Yeah, a little bit more over the top. Doesn't really have a kind of 3/4 not really as fluid as some of the other guys you see, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You just got to get the ball over there, get the guy out.
Parker Noland, another infielder who's made some arm adjustments on the defensive side. He's had to play a lot of different positions in this his sophomore year. Noland making his 10th start at second with Tate Colwick out with a wrist injury. He's been the DH 9 times, was the fill-in first baseman for 7 when Dominic Keegan had COVID. And then finally, his 4th position, 3 starts at his natural third base.
And Nolan is a perfect example of a guy who, comes in here as an infielder, and Tim Corbin says, all right, you're an infielder, you're going to play every single different position. And we've seen a lot of guys come in with that utility player mindset, knowing that there is a lot of different talent on the field already. So if there's a guy who, you might have played shortstop your whole life in high school, but then you come in and there's a guy who's playing shortstop like Carter Young, you're not going to play shortstop. You're going to find a way to play another position. So got to kind of learn quickly some of those other spots in the infield.
3-2. Heavy pull side shift on the dog infield for Parker Noland. Got him, strike 3. 6 up, 6 down for Ryan Webb with 3 strikeouts as Georgia tries to take this series tonight. Just 1 base runner combined through 2 innings here at Hawkins Field. Georgia took game 1 last night 14-2, and Georgia was actually the last team to win an SEC series against Vanderbilt. It was 2 years ago right now, week 4 of the 2019 season. Of course, there were no SEC series in 2020, but since then Vanderbilt's won 9 straight SEC weekends.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's just a testament to how consistent Vandy has been over the past few years. You see that first meeting back all the way to 1897. Vandy's starting to get a little bit up on that total win-loss percentage. Vandy kind of been the bottom part of the SEC for a long time until Tim Corbin got here in 2003. But since Tim Corbin has been here, it's definitely righted the ship and reason why Vandy's #1 in the country.
Cheney Rogers started every game but 1 at first base for the Dogs. Senior from Ringgold, Georgia. 1 for 4 with a single and a walk last night. Third-year starter, spent a lot of time in the corner outfield. Very valuable player for UGA. Jack Leiter was falling behind every at-bat in the first inning. Walked the leadoff man in the second, but struck out the next 3. Two and 2.
He just has such great command of that thing. I mean, we talked about it last inning, but if he's ever not really feeling the fastball, he can just flip one in there and steal a strike and then go right back to work.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strike 2 with the curveball, strike 3 with the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And it's just a great pitch to come off of that slider. I mean, they start off in the exact same spot. The slider comes in to the middle of the plate. That fastball kind of starts to tail off the end. As a hitter, it's tough to pick those up.
Leiter now has 44 strikeouts in 24 1/3 innings of SEC baseball.
A lot of Ks.
Shane Marshall in the 9-hole. Junior catcher for Georgia, making his 12th start. He's caught all 3 of Ryan Webb's SEC outings. Quickly 0-2. The fastball is exploding in the zone, as it's been known to do. Fouled back. Marshall stays alive.
We had Ty Duvall on the broadcast a few weeks ago, and Ty was a catcher here in the program and caught Leiter a lot last year. And he mentioned that Leiter's fastball really just gets another gear once it gets about halfway to the plate.
1-2.
He actually mentioned kind of the fastball exploding. He gets such good, a good flick on the ball and gets some good backspin and good spin rate that it really just jumps up there another gear.
Make it 5 straight strikeouts for Jack Leiter. He's already got 7 through 2 2/3.
And this time he was able to do it with the slider. And it goes down in the zone. Leiter has just been looking so good tonight. I mean, that thing starts off in the middle of the plate and comes right down and finishes it down. You take a look at the side view. About as good as mechanics as you can get. And that was something that Scott Brown really worked with him on this offseason. He's trying to get a little bit more, consistent with his movements to the plate and just trying to get everything working in the same direction. And the consistency has definitely been the word for Jack Leiter this year.
Anderson was the first strikeout victim to lead off the game. Since then, Leiter struck out 6 more. That's every out but 1. 1 pitch away from striking out the side in the 3rd. Line to center. Bradfield has it measured. Through 3 scoreless innings, just a walk and 7 strikeouts for Vanderbilt's Jack Leiter. Really feeling like baseball season here in Nashville. Temperature in the high 70s. Georgia and Vandy doing battle. Just 1 base runner so far. Georgia's Connor Tate walked to start the 2nd. Other than that, not much hitting to report here in the Music City. Jason Gonzalez, Spencer Jones, and Calvin Hewitt, 7, 8, and 9 in the Vandy order against Ryan Webb, who's thrown just 23 pitches so far through 2 innings. Vandy lost yesterday for just the 4th time this season, and they have responded well on all previous occasions.
I bet you could say that. See, he lost against Georgia State on February 26th, won the next 9. Oklahoma State won the next 3, and South Carolina won the next 9 last night. I mean, they were absolutely destroyed by Georgia, so let's see what happens here tonight.
About 2 of those 4 losses coming to teams from the state of Georgia.
Right.
Jason Gonzalez moved up to the 7 hole yesterday, reigning SEC Player of the Week, and hit in the 9 spot for the Commodores in his first 24 starts of the season. Certainly been hitting well enough to move up, but Vandy hasn't had a reason to move him up.
Right. Yeah, Tim Corbin moving him up, I think just because of some of the other injuries, but he likes to keep him down the bottom of the order just to give some consistency and keep an older player down there. And also have the ability to really turn the lineup back over to Bradfield with some guys on base. But you just look at the kid in Gonzalez, I mean, he really built like a baseball player and did a fantastic job over at 3rd base. And once he gets that ball, kind of extended through the hands, I mean, that ball can really jump off the bat, but Webb makes quick work of him with a fastball in the outside corner.
4th strikeout for Ryan Webb. 7 up, 7 down for the Georgia senior lefty.
Yeah, Webb has just done a really good job tonight of kind of mixing in and out, high and low, and mixing the different speeds. I mean, the fastball, it's got some good velocity, but it's not going to blow by you. But coming from the left side, he's got a lot of different looks, and seen only 9 balls, 18 strikes. Really kept that pitch count low tonight.
5th straight start as the Vandy DH for Spencer Jones, sophomore from Encinitas, California, near San Diego. Vanderbilt hopes he will eventually be a 2-way player. Elbow injuries have prevented that from happening these last 2 seasons. On his way back from Tommy John, has grabbed a bat, has been working on his throwing program, and could play the field sometime in the next few weeks, but relegated to DH duty for now and hitting well recently.
Yeah, we see him throw a little bit during batting practice and kind of extending himself to a little bit more long toss, but one of the bigger recruits and bigger names that Tim Corbin has got in this program, but we haven't seen him kind of fully execute every single aspect of his game. We've only really seen him be able to get in there hitting-wise. But, I mean, 6'7", but he moves really well. I mean, moves like he's like 6 feet. And he can really get around the bases and does a really good job over at first base when he plays over there.
Just missed what would have been his first college homer by, 3 feet yesterday in the 4th inning?
Yep.
To the left field side of center. His power really is to the middle of the field.
Yeah, and you look at it, I mean, we've talked about his size, but I mean, he kind of hits like a guy who's 6 feet tall. Really uses all the field. He doesn't really get too pull happy. He just hits the ball where it's pitched, and because he has such big leverage, I mean, the ball really jumps out of there.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about a 3-2 slider from Ryan Webb? 3 straight strikeouts.
That thing was nasty. I mean, it started off in the left-hander's batter's box, right behind Jones's back hip, and then goes across the plate. And even with the Jones's long arms, wasn't able to reach it.
Ryan Webb trying to stay perfect. The first trip through the Vandy order as Calvin Hewitt bats. Freshman right fielder bunts it and reaches. First hit of the game goes to Cal Hewitt on a bunt base hit.
Heads up play there by Hewitt, who got the start yesterday because of the injuries. Just kind of gets thrown in there, sees that Herber has played back, says, hey, I'll drop it down, get a base runner. Heck of a job there by the freshman Hewitt.
That's what he's in the lineup for, speed and defense. Filling in for both Isaiah Thomas and Cooper Davis, who would be in right field. Freshman at first base, freshman in the box as Vandy flips back over to the leadoff man, Enrique Bradfield Jr. Hewitt holds.
Yeah, Webb definitely was getting in a good rhythm, so getting a runner on base, trying to get him in the stretch off of his rhythm, and see a nice block there by Marshall, the catcher, keeping the ball in front.
Vandy's got their first base runner of the evening, and perhaps back-to-back bunt attempts.
Yeah, Bradfield not afraid to show you back-to-back bunts, and even if you are playing him in and you're ready for the bunt, I mean, he has such good skill with it that he's able to kind of put it exactly where he wants to, and with his speed, it really makes you hurry and makes you play exactly, perfectly that defend it.
2-1. Bradfield in the leadoff spot for the 13th straight game for the Commodores. Freshman center fielder has started every game out there. Has now been the leadoff man for almost half of them. Probably won't see that change. Back pick. Hewitt is safe. It's 2-2.
And we saw Bradfield, towards the bottom of the order at the beginning of the year, and it really was just a matter of time before he moved up there. But they did want him in center field regardless. I mean, with his speed and his tools, I mean, he's just a guy fun to watch. I mean, fun to watch with his speed and run down balls, and can do a lot on the base paths too.
Bradfield calls time. It's already been Ryan Webb's most laborious inning. 15 pitches here in the third. Hewitt ended the 3 straight strikeout streak with a bunt single. Tapper to the right side. Blaylock underhands for the out. A bunt single, but that's it for the Vandy Boys in the bottom of the third. We are scoreless after 3. Just 1 base runner aside. 7 strikeouts and just a walk through 3 innings for Jack Leiter so far. We got plenty of Georgia boys matching up this weekend. And last night, Kamar Rocker, who went to high school at North Oconee, faced off against a couple of Oconee high school boys down in the Athens area, the Tate twins. And, well, it goes like this most of the time. You can get one Tate brother, but you can't get them both.
That's true. You don't see many brothers throughout college baseball, let alone the SEC, but when you do, you don't really see too many twins. You saw Connor Tate, good night last night, and Cole Tate as well.
Last night's winning pitcher, Will Pearson, 2 years younger than Rocker, from North Oconee. Picked up the relief win, throwing the 3rd and the 4th. Jack Leiter back to the bump against Cole Tate, Corey Collins, and Connor Tate.
There's so much talent here in the mid-state here in Tennessee, but I mean, down there in Georgia, and especially around the Atlanta area, is really just another level. And Georgia really doesn't have to recruit outside the state.
Cole flew out to center in the first inning. Leiter quickly ahead, 0-2. Just missed the outside.
I actually think this was probably a strike, but Rodriguez was set up outside trying to get him to chase, so I wasn't able to really frame it back there on the plate, but let's see if he comes right back to it.
Fouled off. It hasn't led to production, but Georgia's batters have done some good two-strike work so far.
They've done a good job choking up and just trying to get a piece of Leiter. You see some funky swings, but regardless, just trying to stay alive.
Swing and a miss, but that's a live ball. And Cole Tate's aboard on the drop, third strike.
Yeah,
8th strikeout for Leiter, but Georgia has their second base runner.
Yeah, he just hit the front of the plate right here. Rodriguez didn't have a chance to block it. Popped up right over his head. Yeah, that was another nasty slider from Leiter. Almost too good. I mean, if you're a hitter and you're swinging at a ball that bounces in front of the plate, I mean, you know that that's a really good pitch. As a casual fan, you might think, why in the world is he swinging at that thing? But when you're in the batter's box, you just cannot tell the difference between that fastball and the slider. It is so difficult because of the high spin rate on the slider.
Starts Corey Collins with the curveball. We've seen a lot of both breaking pitches.
Yeah, the curveball, you'll kind of flip up and it kind of pops up out of his hand. And as a hitter, you kind of think, oh, it's going to be a ball, but then it pops right back there as a strike, and he's able to steal a strike, and you're down 0-1 as a hitter. Fastball on the outside corner, good try and frame in there from Rodriguez.
It's ball one for Leiter, who struck out 8, allowed just a walk, and now a runner on a drop third strike here to start the 4th. That curveball for Leiter is his all reliable. He's been throwing that pitch since he was in 8th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, the curveball and the slider really has a good feel for him.
Two and one. That's the first cutter we've seen from Leiter tonight. That's a new pitch he added this season on recommendation from former Commodore and 5th overall pick last year, Austin Martin. Martin was at the Blue Jays' alternate site in Rochester, New York. Was facing some would-be big leaguers with hard cutters. Texted Jack Leiter, he said, these guys remind me of you and I can't hit their cutter. You should add one. Jack said, okay, and he did it. Three and one now on Corey Collins after that failed appeal. Swing and a miss. Some arm side run on that fastball to run us full.
Yeah, Leiter really likes that pitch to the left-hander just because it continues to extend the plate even further past the black of the plate. We'll see if he comes right back to something like that or maybe tries to get him chasing the dirt.
Ball 4. 2 on with nobody out for Connor Tate. Leiter went fastball, 3-2.
Yeah, I've seen Leiter getting to some hot water like this during the season, but usually able to get out of it. You see him kind of step off the mound, take his hat off, reset, and then we kind of regroup. He does a really good job of just keeping a level head, and you don't really see too much emotion from him, good or bad. I think that's why a lot of scouts like him. Just kind of goes about his business in a very consistent way.
Connor Tate batting with 2 on and nobody out. Cole Tate on a drop third strike. Corey Collins on a 5-pitch walk. Leiter said after his 7 no-hit innings against Missouri, which came after the 9-inning no-hitter, he said things basically feel the same. I feel pretty normal right now. We have another game tomorrow. Get up for breakfast, probably do some homework, start thinking about my next start. One and one.
Yeah, just that consistent mentality is definitely something that Scott Brown has mentioned about Leiter, and specifically about Rocker as well, especially when they came in as freshmen. You know, they weren't messing around. They weren't trying to goof off. I mean, it was, you know, I want to learn as much as I can and develop. And they've just been locked in ever since.
Swing and a miss. Leiter goes down and in with the fastball.
Is that arm side fastball, just has some run on the inside corner. At 95, I mean, it doesn't look like 95. I mean, it looks easy. It looks about 90, but it is coming in there quick.
No balls in play, but Georgia threatening here in the 4th. Jason Gonzalez sees the pop-up. Infield fly in effect for the first out.
A big pop-up there for Leiter. Now he's just a ground ball away from getting a double play. We've seen him work out of a lot of these jams like that. He'll get a quick strikeout and a quick ground ball, and before you know it, Commodores are back in the dugout trying to hit.
Riley King's next. Leiter 2 walks and a drop third strike, the 3 base runners so far, plus 8 strikeouts. Leiter did not allow a hit during any of his first 20 SEC innings over the last 3 weekends. He went around, 0-1 on Riley King. King struck out on a 1-2 slider his first time. Similar pitch to this.
You saw King kind of talking to himself. He just doesn't swing at that. It's super hard to lay off of.
0-2 on the 5th-year senior left fielder.
And the biggest numbers for Leiter that have really jumped out this year, when we first started this year, was just the strikeout numbers. I mean, he and Rocker. I mean, the sliders and the curveballs have really gotten that much better and finishing off a lot of guys and getting some overswings.
Lined up the middle and in for a base hit. Cole Tate headed home, and Bradfield throws to third. 1-0 Georgia on their first hit of the night.
That's SEC baseball for you. The ball left up over the zone, and that's what's going to happen. It was a missed spot, supposed to be outside, ran back over the middle, and that ball's going to get hit, and that's an easy RBI.
Think Bradfield had a play at home here?
I don't know. It looked like he was charging the ball, and then once he realized that Tate was already around the base, I think he just decided to throw it in there and try and keep the runners at first and second.
This one's hit to Carter Young. Chance to get 2, but some hesitation. They still got it. Parker Nolan wasn't sure if he should cover the bag or not, so Carter Young handles it himself. But Georgia breaks the ice with a drop third strike, a walk, and an RBI single. Dogs on the board against Jack Leiter with a chance to take the series. Nice night in Nashville. 2, 3, and 4 for the Commodores. Second plate appearance for Carter Young, Dominic Keegan, and Jack Bolger against Ryan Webb, who struck out 5 and only allowed a bunt single through 3 scoreless.
And Webb has done a fantastic job so far tonight. We talked off the top, who's going to, break first blood after Georgia just put a hurt on Vandy last night. Georgia able to put one on the board in the top of the fourth. So continuing that momentum, and they're going to keep the gas pedal on and try and take this series from Vandy.
Just 2 runs for the Commodores through 12 offensive innings this weekend. Ryan Webb's painting corners.
Yeah, backdoor curveball. Really gotten a lot of guys on that pitch so far tonight.
2-2. Young flew out to center his first time. Carter Young, switch hitter. Right-handed is his natural side. More of a line drive hitter with a lofty lefty power swing too. His average hovering right around 500 through 20 to 25 plate appearances against lefty pitchers this year. Small sample size territory still, but we're about halfway through the regular season.
Yeah, Vandy hadn't seen a ton of left-handed arms so far this year. So definitely a different look for these guys.
It's the second baseman, Blaylock, who can't make the play. Young thinking second. Still thinking it after Anderson bobbled the ball. But he's aboard. Garrett Blaylock, the former Commodore, playing on the shortstop side as the second baseman.
Yeah, Georgia playing heavy on the shift to the left side. It looked like Blaylock was just trying to charge this thing and getting ready to throw it before he even got it in the glove. I will say with the turf definitely stays down a lot more than other turfs, especially with a natural field. So definitely got to keep that in mind as an infielder.
That is an error on Blaylock, who is a third baseman by trade for this Georgia team. Played mostly shortstop in high school, as just about every infielder in the college game did. But he's new at second base this season, although that was really a shortstop play with where he was standing. Dom Keegan struck out in the first inning against Webb. Ryan Webb has lived away from these right-handed Commodore bats.
Yeah, Coach Strickland was saying before the series, you need to come in and take a series or even take a game from Vandy. You got to play good baseball. You don't have to be perfect, but you definitely got to play good baseball. And if you give them something, they're usually going to take advantage of it. So the error from Blaylock, we'll see if Vandy can capitalize on that.
No swing, 2-1.
Take a look at the side view. Able to hold up. That barrel did not cross the plane of the front part of the plate.
Three and one on Keegan. Both teams with just one hit so far. Riley King's RBI single in the top of this inning was the first against Leiter. Calvin Hewitt, a bunt base hit to break up the perfect game with 2 outs in the third. Line drive, foul.
I will say Webb has looked a lot more comfortable out of the windup than he has in the stretch. And that breaking ball has a little bit more bite when he has the good rhythm of the windup. When he's in the stretch, it flattens out just a little bit.
Called strike 3. Keegan thought it was ball 4, but the fastball dots the high and inside corner.
Yeah, 92, a heck of a spot. Comes right in on the hands of Keegan, and that's really what he wanted to throw that ball. Try and get it in there. Don't let it get in his hands extended. But with 3-2, it was a gutsy call. And a well-executed pitch there by Webb.
6th strikeout for Ryan Webb. Just a hit and an error for the Commodores so far. Young still at first for Jack Bolger. Struck out swinging at a slider to start the second. Back pick, Young in standing up. Shane Marshall caught the last 2 innings last night. Got Fernando Gonzalez off his feet. Those two have been splitting the weekends for the Dogs. 2-0. Vandy has seen some pitches already this second trip through the order. Webb needed just 33 pitches to face the first 9. Now Bradfield, Young, Keegan, and Bolger have seen a combined 20.
The game definitely slowed down since Young was able to get on first base. And that's what Vandy usually does. It takes them a little bit of time to get through the order, and then once they are able to see the guy the second time.
I think we had a balk warning there.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't know what home plate umpire Tyler Simpson was pointing at.
Called strike. Breaking ball at the top of the zone, left on right.
Yeah, it was a good look at the breaking ball out of the stretch. You see not as much of a break in that stretch, but still effective, able to flip it in there and steal a strike.
From 2-0 to 2-2 on Jack Bolger. Three and two. Bolger, the freshman left fielder, 21st collegiate start. In there for hard line contact. Vanderbilt's only hit tonight so far is a bunt single. Young runs, strike 3, and Young takes second. So runner in scoring position with 2 outs now for the Commodores, and Webb has 7 punchies. Carter Young reached on an error to start this inning. Just stole second. C.J. Rodriguez up in a 2-out RBI situation with the wind blowing pretty much straight out.
Yeah, it's really picked up here in the last few minutes. Definitely keep an eye on that with pop flies that normally would just be normal pop flies to center or left. It really could fly out of here. It's really interesting with the football stadium down in kind of the left field line. It blocks a lot of the wind, but once you get the ball above the stadium, it's kind of just like a jet stream. So again, those pop flies can run out of here if you get them high enough.
Georgia hit 7 homers last night. Don't think many of those needed the help, but they turned into moonshots with the wind blowing out.
Yeah, not many of those needed. A lot of those were no doubters. 7
home runs in a 14-2 win, the most UGA has ever hit in an SEC baseball game.
It got to like video game status last night. I mean, the guy got up and you'd see him hit it and you're like, no way does that go out.
Before this season, Georgia had not had back-to-back-to-back homers since 1987. This season they've done it twice. March 12th against Lipscomb and then last night here. And that's an intentional walk. Webb will choose not to throw ball 4 and just send Rodriguez on down to first.
Yeah, the fun thing about last night is to watch the dugout's reaction to all those home runs. I mean, they were going nuts. I mean, to see your teammates just one after another leaving the yard, I mean, they were having some fun last night.
First and second, 2 outs for Parker Noland. And he's sophomore second baseman. Struck out swinging his first time against Webb, one of the 7 strikeout victims. Vandy has just 1 hit this inning. Young reached on an error, and Rodriguez intentionally walked after getting ahead 3-0. Parker Noland has hit both his home runs this season the opposite way, really shown off his opposite field power. Noland says that in SEC games, he's been pitched in quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they look at all the spray charts and they see the power to the opposite side and see a lot of those balls he hits there in the 6 hole. So, try and get in on his hands and, trying to jam him and probably roll over a few balls. But this is an opportunity here for Noland to get a knock and try and tie this thing up. Vandy left a lot of runners on base yesterday. In these tight ball games, every opportunity you got to capitalize on them.
1-1. This is the first time Vandy's had a runner in scoring position. Ryan Webb retired the first 8 Vandy batters. Since then, a single, reached on an error, an intentional walk. Noland has played wherever he's been asked to this season on defense. Now filling in at second base with Tate Colwick out injured. His 10th straight start there. He's been in the lineup every game. Made himself very useful. 1-2. That's been the money pitch for Ryan Webb tonight.
Yeah, he's kind of gotten squeezed a little bit by home plate umpire Tyler Simpson on that curveball, but able to flip that one in there for a strike.
Georgia got a run off Jack Leiter in the top of this 4th. Webb trying to get the shutdown 0 on the board. Called strike 3. Comes back with the fastball to leave a pair. 3 more strikeouts for Ryan Webb in the inning. He's got 8, and the Dogs are up 1. Bowden and Jordan Sheffield debuted for the Rockies a week ago tonight as Major League teammates, becoming the 26th and 27th Major Leaguers to play for Tim Corbin here at Vandy. And when you make your Major League debut, your flag goes up here at Hawkins Field. How special for 2 guys who were the same year at Vanderbilt, drafted together in 2016, 5 years later to find themselves as big league teammates and debut in the same game.
In the same game, not only a the same week or in the same season, in the exact same game, and they were able to kind of have a nice moment after and get a picture, throw up the VU.
Jack Leiter, one of the next in line from the Commodores to make the majors, gave up a run in the 4th inning. Faced the bottom of the order in the 5th, Parks Harbor, Cheney Rogers, and Shane Marshall. Vanderbilt leads all of college baseball with 13 players on MLB opening day rosters.
13 is quite a bit. You see all the numbers in there through the SEC, and that's just why this conference is so stacked, because guys that are playing here are most likely going to play at the next level at some point.
Jack Leiter hits Parks Harbor to start the 5th.
It looked like that arm side fastball just kind of ran in. Got the top of the hand on Harbor.
A former Dog has perhaps the biggest swing of the Major League season so far. Jared Walsh, walk-off bomb on Sunday Night Baseball for the Angels against the White Sox on Sunday.
Yeah, talk about a no-doubter.
Talking about Bowden and Sheffield, they both pitched again for the Rockies today. It was each of their 3rd appearances. And Ben Bowden struck out former Commodore and fellow New Englander Mike Yastrzemski.
I always love to see those matchups, and I know that they didn't overlap each other, but especially the guys that overlap each other, and you know that they faced each other so many times in inter-squad scrimmages, but to kind of face them again in the Major League level, and it's funny, usually one of them will get a hit or even a home run, and the next AB will be a strikeout. It's usually kind of a wash between all the at-bats.
3-pitch strikeout for Jack Leiter, hitting Cheney Rogers with the fastball.
Nice arm side fastball, elevated up in the zone. Has really good command of that pitch up in the zone, and as a hitter, I mean, you see that coming kind of right in at the letters, and it looks really good, and you think you can get your hands on top of it, but it just makes it that much more difficult to swing at, because it has a higher pitch velocity up in the zone.
Right back to the fastball, 0-1 on Shane Marshall. That's Leiter's 80th strikeout of the season in 46 1/3 innings. Whew. This is his 8th start. 47 of those 80 have come in 4 SEC starts. Late time call. Shane Marshall, the junior catcher for the Dogs, struck out his first time. Junior from Naples, Florida in the box. Swing and a miss. No need to go away from the fastball.
Yeah, the craziest thing about Leiter's no-hitter was just the fact that it was against an SEC team and in his first SEC start. I mean, that wasn't a midweek team. It was high stakes and against a good team that's playing some good ball right now in South Carolina.
10th strikeout for Jack Leiter. Both this inning on the fastball, just like all 16 of them were against the Gamecocks on March 20th.
Yeah, fastball in the outside corner. Get a good look at the mechanics there. A good extension, good follow through. Every single pitch, a fastball, curveball, it all looks exactly the same coming out of the hand, and the motion looks exactly the same, so it's really, really tough to pick up as a hitter.
Starts Anderson off speed. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a line out. Georgia leadoff man hitting for the third time. 1-0 Dogs. A drop third strike that bounced off home plate. A walk and a single got the run in the fourth. That RBI single, the only hit Leiter's allowed. Fastball right on the inside corner.
Yeah, as a pitcher, this is where you want to live, right there at the bottom of the zone. Keep it low, underneath the eyes of the hitter. If they do put it in play, going to be a ground ball.
Breaking ball down and in. Fastballs like that 1-0 pitch do run away from lefty batters, but Leiter's not throwing his two-seam fastball this year. It's the four-seamer. He's just finishing the pitch with a strong follow-through.
Yep. Yeah, getting some good run with it. Well, we've shown a couple of the side views of Leiter. It just shows kind of just the fluidity of his motion.
Hard hit grounder past Carter Young. Second hit for UGA with Harbor heading for third. He's there, and Anderson's at second.
Definitely want to keep that runner at second base. So as a diving ball against Young, this is where you see the young outfielder Bradfield not going back to second base and trying to throw out the guy at third. So you see Anderson realizes that ball is going towards third base and able to pick up an extra bag. As an outfielder, you want to get that ball right into second base so you keep the guy at first. So a base hit only scores one. Right now, a base hit can possibly score two.
Chance for the Dogs to put a little dent in this ball game with Cole Tate up. Senior shortstop hitting in the 2-hole. Scored that first run after strike 3 curveball. Bounced off the plate and away from the catcher to start last inning. Leiter's pitch count in the mid-70s right now. Against Missouri, he threw 7 hitless innings, had a pitch count of 101, got pulled. He said he actually didn't know his pitch count. They didn't have it in the scoreboard in Como like they do at most ballparks. But he listened to Scott Brown, the pitching coach, who told him, I'm looking out for you in the long term. Jack Leiter not going to fight that. And I'd say this is the biggest difference between Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. When the coaches tell Jack Leiter he's coming out, he says, okay, I understand. When Kumar Rocker was told against South Carolina, you're done after 7, he said, no, I'm pitching the 8th. And he pitched the 8th. Vandy's 2 aces play off each other very well. They could be the top 2 picks in the MLB draft on July 11th. 2-1.
Yeah, we talk about Leiter's, just his movement. And even though the pitch count starts to get up there, he doesn't put a lot of stress on his arm. He uses his legs, he uses his body very efficiently. So, the pitch count can start to go a little bit higher. I mean, he's not really a max effort guy. I mean, he's very, very easy on the throws. I think that's what a lot of scouts really like about him, because he does have the ability to go long and have a long career.
He's behind 3-1 to Cole Tate. First base open with Corey Collins, the power hitting DH, on deck. Entering the weekend, Vandy was 14-0 this season in games that Kumar Rocker or Jack Leiter started. Last night, Georgia won 14-2. chasing Rocker with nobody out in the 6th. 3-2. Tate swung at ball 4.
Oh, he had a 3-1 count. He was aggressive with this thing. This was up in his eyes, but you could tell he was sitting on green. Heads up in the back row there. And he was looking to get home run number 8 so far on this weekend.
Full count, 2 outs, 2 in scoring position for UGA. Jack Leiter and Cole Tate. Soft grounder. Carter Young charges and gets the out. Jack Leiter leaves a pair in scoring position and is through 5. Georgia ahead 1-0. Maxers and Andrew Harris. Ryan Webb and Jack Leiter have been dealing so far. 18 combined strikeouts. Georgia the only run, with just 3 total hits.
Yeah, it's been a nice pitcher's duel tonight. Been very impressed with Webb, especially. You see only 1 hit, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Leiter 10 strikeouts as well. A lot of Ks, a lot of swing and miss.
Bottom of the Vandy order against Ryan Webb. Jason Gonzalez, the first man in, struck out his first time.
We talked earlier, I mean, you're going to see Webb on Friday night next weekend. And he just was pushed back to Saturday because he got a little bit of a later start. So Vandy pretty much facing Georgia's best pitcher so far right now.
Jonathan Cannon will pitch game 3 for the Dogs tomorrow. Going forward, with a full week of rest after playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it will be Ryan Webb, Jonathan Cannon for the first 2. And then Luke Wagner and his bullpen buddies in game 3 instead of game 1. That approach did work really well for UGA last night. The longest tenured reliever was Ben Harris, who got the final 7 outs. He was the only reliever to face anybody twice the whole game. Only pitcher, starter, or reliever, I should say.
Yep, going into that, you knew Coach Strickland was going to kind of have a staff day. And yeah, it definitely worked, kept those Commodore batters off balance.
It's an interesting approach because in Vandy's midweek game on Tuesday, UT Martin did the same thing.
Right.
Nearly won that game with most of their weekend arms coming out for an inning or 2.
Yeah, but the Georgia pitching staff is, man, they have taken some blows over the past few years.
Check swing. He went. 9th strikeout for Ryan Webb with just 1 out in the 5th.
Nice pitch here on the outside corner. Looked like he was able to get the swing just across the plate. Yeah, you go back to 2020. I mean, you had Emerson Hancock and Wilcox and guys that you knew were going to be special, went 1st and 3rd round. So you lose them coming into this year, and then you have Garrett Brown and Will Childers, who both go down with injuries in the fall within a span of 10 days. So you kind of have, and then CJ Smith as well is kind of has a sore arm, so he's out. So 3 of your 5 best pitchers are down. So kind of going with Webb and Cannon, kind of pitching on fumes here. But Webb has done a fantastic job tonight.
Will Childers had Tommy John surgery. Garrett Brown's injury is pretty crazy. He had a bone spur in his pitching elbow that he just always had. Scott Strickland said that Garrett Brown told him, every single pitch I've thrown since I was 12 years old is hurt. I mean, you hear a lot of high-level pitchers say, my arm hurts, my arm always hurts. And
right.
That's kind of a fact of life for a lot of these guys, but that's another level.
Exactly. Yeah, I think potentially might have CJ Smith, back by the end of the year. But we're going to hopefully have him going to start on Fridays, but definitely having some soreness, so not trying to take any chances with him.
Spencer Jones goes the other way for Vanderbilt's 2nd hit against Webb.
This is the same swing that I was talking about with Jones. He's a big guy, but fastball in the inside part of the plate, but he kind of squeaks his hands in there and able to shoot it there to the left side.
That's Vanderbilt's second hit. The 6'7" Spencer Jones over there at first base.
Hey, don't sleep on Jones over there at first. I mean, he can definitely take some bags. He'll surprise you there with the speed. Once he gets going, he takes some long strides.
1-0 on Calvin Hewitt. Jones stole his first base as a college player a couple weeks ago against Tennessee Tech. Cal Hewitt had Vandy's first hit, a bunt single to break up a perfect game in the third inning. Blooper to right. That's down. A couple of softies. Fine turf for the 8th and 9th men in the Vandy order.
Again, it doesn't matter how you do it. I mean, that looks like a liner in the books. Looked like he kind of got in on the hands of Hewitt, but able to bloop it right perfectly in the middle of Tate, Blaylock, and Anderson. And Vandy with a little something running here.
Calvin Hewitt, freshman, in his second college start. They've come the last 2 days. He is now 4 out of 5 in his college career. And he's been on base 7 out of 8 plate appearances. Those trips to the dish hadn't been in meaningful spots until these last 2 days, but he's found a way on. That's all Vandy's asking him to do. He's a contact and speed guy. Same story for the man who hits after him, the leadoff hitter, fellow freshman Enrique Bradfield. It's the first half inning all night with multiple hits. One and one.
And you got to think, third time through the order, these hitters have seen the shape of the breaking ball. They kind of know how Webb is pitching them. So definitely look to see some adjustments with some of these guys' swings, not trying to chase that breaking ball or swing at it in the dirt. Easier said than done, but definitely take a look at that this third time through.
Bradfield's 0 for 10 this week, including 0 for 6 so far in the series.
Yeah, that was the biggest question mark for me with Bradfield is, he was doing so well in the preseason. Once he got into SEC play, how is he going to perform? And he's continued to step it up, but a little bit of a slow spell here recently.
Tapper foul. Bradfield's from Hialeah, Florida. Went to American Heritage High School in the Fort Lauderdale area. Started every game in center field for the Commodores. He's shown it all in the speed package. Second in Division I baseball with 20 stolen bases. He's only been caught once. Colin Burgess from South Carolina got him. One of the best defensive catchers in the league. Strike 3. Strikeout number 10 for Ryan Webb and a big second out.
They're talking about just trying to not swing at this thing in the dirt. Easier said than done, especially left on left. Webb makes quick work out of Bradfield. You see last night, Vandy left 15 guys on base. Not going to win a lot of games doing that. Tonight already left 3. An opportunity here to strand another 2. So they've gotten guys in the right spot, just haven't been able to get them home.
And 9 of those 15 left on yesterday were in scoring position. 0-1 on Carter Young. Throw to second, and it gets away on the back pick. Both runners move up. It's happened to Georgia yesterday, too, trying to get an out at second base, and the ball went into center field.
Like Marshall was trying to back pick Jones. He was getting a little bit too far off the base, but Tate, the shortstop, not able to hold up. And a heads-up play by Hewitt. He was able to get all the way to second base from first and get another guy in scoring position.
That ball only went about 30 feet past the bag. Very heads-up play by Cal Hewitt.
Yeah, actually, that I'll correct myself. I thought that was Tate. It was actually Blaylock because he was playing heavy towards the shift. So I think it kind of caught Blaylock a little bit off guard with the throw down from Marshall, the catcher.
Vandy trying to tie this game or even go ahead with a single to the outfield. Ryan Webb trying to keep it 1-0. 1-2. Is that a changeup?
Yeah, I was going to say it was a good changeup on the outside corner. He was able to get him to swing through it. Haven't seen too many of those, but he will use it with the right-handers. Just a different look.
2 singles in the inning. Vandy with one of their best bats up. Trying to get on the board. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fire me up, Ryan Webb. 11 strikeouts through 5 scoreless against the #1 team in the land. Afternoon here at Hawkins Field. Jack Leiter, a no-hitter in Game 2 of the SEC season against South Carolina. He walked the leadoff man, then got the next 27 in a row. 16 of the 27 outs were strikeouts, and all 16 of those, Andrew, were fastballs.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, you kind of had that game earmarked because we saw him last year. We also saw Leiter in the preseason, but didn't really know how he was going to do once he got into SEC play with some of the better hitters. And I think he passed that test.
Yeah, 20 straight full innings without allowing a hit. That's an A+.
Yeah.
Jack Leiter, the 20-year-old right-hander, back to the bump for the Commodores. Allowed 2 hits and a run while striking out 10 through 5 innings, but trailing here at home. Georgia beat Kamar Rocker yesterday, getting 6 runs off him in 5+ innings. Now trying to do what many thought was impossible. Beat them both. Middle of the lineup, Corey Collins, Connor Tate, and Riley King seeing Leiter for the 3rd time. Shallow left. Long run for Young or Bolger, and it's Bolger who makes the catch barely. Snow cone style for Jack.
Yeah, wind swirling just a little bit. See Bolger came into the frame on the right. Ooh, yeah, it looked like he hit the palm of his glove and almost popped out. Bolger's played a lot of different positions and can also catch, but definitely in there for the bat. He's been stuck out there in left field to just keep some more offense, and also because of some of the injuries like Cooper Davis and Isaiah Thomas.
Connor Tate, a walk and a pop out today. Yeah, Bolger came to the Vandy program as a catcher. When he wasn't catching in high school, he played 3rd base. The only time he'd played outfield was on a USA baseball team. And that's usually just a couple week type stint.
Right.
Line drive and down for a single. 3rd hit for UGA, and it's their 3rd straight inning with a hit. See if Tate can take 2nd. Vandy too aggressive, but they got him. 7-6-3-4 in your book.
Just how they drew it up. Yeah, I like the aggressiveness from Tate. A nice ball in left center. You see the ball come in from Bolger, and we've actually seen Young do this a couple times, just try and get the runner sleeping, but Keegan was not able to glove it. We've actually heard Tim Corbin talk multiple times how Keegan loves to throw and is very accurate and throws an absolute dart right in the perfect tag area for a nice tag there by Nolan.
2 outs, clean bases here for King. Keegan also came to Vandy as a catcher. Now he's a first baseman. Speaking of USA baseball, Tim Corbin compared him defensively at first to a man he coached on the 2000 USA Collegiate National Team, Mark Teixeira. Had a cannon over at first base, playing for Georgia Tech at the time.
Ooh. Heck of a swing there by King. That's a well-placed fastball in the outside corner, but King was right on time with it.
Yeah, no 2 RBI single up the middle last time, creating the only run of the day. 1-2. 96 from Leiter. He sat 92 to 94.
Yeah, let's jump it up there a little bit. Also, sometimes hit the hot part of the gun, but he definitely has bumped up the fastball a few times when he needs to.
Called strike 3. Making 11 Ks for Jack, but his team trails 1-0 in the middle of the 6th.
Yeah, take a look here. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone. Fantastic job of framing that by Rodriguez, the catcher, and good look here. Commodores coming to bat here, trying to get on the board.
And Webb and Jack Leiter duel in Nashville. Jack Leiter, ever the professional. All eyes set on pitching for a long time. Never high-fives anybody with his right pitching hand. Hugh Fisher snuck one there, but it's all with the left.
Got to protect it. It's a valuable hand there.
Don't want to risk the money hand. When Vanderbilt wins a game, everyone will have their right hand up in a high-five line. Good win, good win, good win. Jack Leiter has his right hand behind his back, his left hand crossing his body, high-fiving everybody with his non-dominant hand.
I mean, heck, you could get a jammed finger. You never know, what's going to pop out there. There's dangerous stuff in that high-five line.
Every move this man makes is about pitching for a long, long time at the highest level. He's certainly done it in the last 2 seasons for Vandy. Ryan Webb's team has beaten his team tonight, though. Webb's been masterful. 11 strikeouts, 3 hits over 5 scoreless. 0-2 to Dom Keegan.
Yeah, Webb and Leiter just trading punches. Webb got out of a huge inning last inning, and Leiter had a quick one last inning, too. You see the line on Webb tonight. 5 innings, 3 hits. Only 1 walk. And here's a look at that breaking ball.
Give him 12.
Yeah, out of the windup. I mean, take a look at this thing. Whee! It swings out there outside the box and then comes right back in. A little bit of a knee buckler there on Keegan.
12 strikeouts for Ryan Webb, his personal best. The senior left-hander from Roswell, who pitched out of the bullpen the last 2 years. Last week, Webb went 6 innings against South Carolina. 6 innings, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. And the first 5 runs all scored on homers. Georgia gave up a lot of homers last weekend to South Carolina. 8 in 3 games. Gamecocks took the series 2 out of 3. And this might be a bomb. Jack Bolger deep to left, and we are tied.
And in the same part of the park, we saw a lot of home runs last night. And that'll get Vandy jacked up. You see the guys coming out of the dugout. Get a little spark in that offense. That's why he's in that lineup. Fastball up in the zone. I mean, that was above the letters. And take a look, he's able to get his hand inside. And that, as you said, Max, that was a no-doubter. A little bit of wind, but heck of a swing there by Bolger.
4th college homer for the freshman, Jack Bolger. 3 of those have come in the last 8 days. He hit 2 at LSU last weekend. Vanderbilt's earned Jack Leiter a run and a clean slate here in the 6th. CJ Rodriguez next.
You talk about momentum swings. I mean, Webb had the shutdown half inning last inning, and Leiter really needed to come out and get a quick inning. He had 1 base runner, but he was able to get a, I think it was 8 pitches. And then Bolger able to have that big swing, so momentum definitely swinging back in the Commodores dugout. We'll kind of see how that plays out the rest of the game.
Rodriguez's power has jumped up this season, and his offense has been very consistent. His manager, Tim Corbin, and Rodriguez himself agree that a routine is a big part of that. He's built his acumen at the plate. just by knowing he's going to be in there. He started every SEC game, and his routine in between games has improved too.
I think for a lot of these guys, especially some of these young catchers, you're just getting more ABs. I mean, obviously baseball's a game of reps, so the more times you're able to get up there and see different pitches and get that experience, the better your outcomes are going to be.
Rodriguez is one of the best defensive catchers in the conference and possibly the best amateur framer in the world.
Wow.
But
it's a tall order.
He comes into this Vandy program with a lot of offense, too. He hit second in the season opener as a true freshman last year. Caught and hit second in his first college game. Strike three. 13 punch-outs for Ryan Webb, and he bounces back after the game-tying homer.
Yeah, took something off of this one at the top of the zone. I actually think that was a change-up up in the zone. A little bit off balance there. Really looks exactly like the fastball came out of the hands. Again, we haven't seen too many change-ups from him, but against those right-handers, we'll see it a little bit more often. Really likes that curveball, though, to these left-handers.
Parker Nolan struck out both times so far against Webb. Pull side grounder to Garrett Blaylock. Easy inning if you take out the game-tying home run. Vanderbilt finally on the board. Jack Bolger, a solo shot. The Commodore freshman makes this a tie game after 6. That last play, Tim Corbin was talking to home plate umpire Tyler Simpson and third base ump Jeffrey Macias. Vandy challenged something here. Perhaps catcher interference on the swing.
That's the only thing I can think of.
This was a total ho-hum grounder to second to end the inning.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. Yeah, it did look like Rodriguez is, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Marshall's glove was up there, but I thought I saw Tim Corbin say, because I'm an expert, lip reader, that he heard something on the swing.
Doesn't look like any contact there.
Doesn't. Again, this is all speculation. We have no idea what the challenge was for.
Two of our umps on headset talking to Birmingham at the SEC Video Replay Center. We'll see if we get a ruling here. Call stands. Whatever it was, Vanderbilt loses the challenge, and Jack Leiter's coming back. Vanderbilt back out into the field. Jack Leiter back to the mound in a newly tied ball game as we go to the 7th.
No idea.
I won't all in now at Early's at Arby have the meat.
Much for joining us on this Friday night. Georgia won game 1 yesterday. Jack Leiter and Ryan Webb have both gone 6 full, allowed a run apiece. Riley King, an RBI single for UGA in the 4th. Jack Bolger just now a game-tying solo homer in the 6th.
Yeah, it's been a great pitcher's duel, and now we're kind of back to square run with a few innings left to play, so going to be some good ball here in 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Webb has thrown 99 pitches. Jack Leiter approaching 90 as he starts this 7th. This will be his 91st to Garrett Blaylock. Blaylock today, a strikeout and a ground ball that became a double play. Blaylock started his college career here at Vanderbilt 3 years ago. Hit 2 homers last night. Wouldn't quite call it a revenge game. Only 3 of his former Vandy teammates are still on the squad, the 3 seniors, Hugh Fisher, Jason Gonzalez, and Cooper Davis. Blaylock takes down low. Leiter has 11 strikeouts, trying to make it 12. Blaylock did start a couple of conference games for the Commodores in 2018 when Connor Kaiser, the shortstop at the time, was injured. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball way up there from Leiter at 94.
It's just like elevated fastball again from Leiter. As a hitter, it just looks so good out of the hands. You just cannot help but to not swing. It looks good. It looks like you can reach it, but even though it is 94 up there in the zone, the kind of the perceived velocity is more like 98, so it really gets on top of you quick.
Parks Harbor almost got hit for the 2nd time. He got hit in that exact same spot last time up.
Yeah, again, arm side, the fastball just kind of ran away.
Two balls, no strikes. So Leiter not happy with these first couple. Harbor, a true freshman, locked in there as the 3rd baseman for the Dogs. 0 for 5 this series with a walk and a hit by pitch. He has not yet put the ball in play here in Nashville. All 5 of the outs have been strikeouts.
And for Leiter here, really needs a 1-2-3 inning just to kind of keep that momentum after the big home run from Jack Bulger.
Leiter approaching 100 pitches. He has gone over 100 in each of his first 3 SEC starts coming in. Leiter said the big wall for him was going past 7 innings. Because he did that a ton in high school games, but that's when the games end.
Yep.
He went 9 full against South Carolina in the no-no. Three and 2. Before that, Leiter had not recorded an out in the 6th inning as a college pitcher for Vandy. It had only been 7 starts.
Right.
But he hadn't pitched past the 5th inning.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have. A lot of that was just pitch count and early in the season, and Scott Brown just trying to keep these guys fresh. There's definitely a long season ahead. He's starting to extend himself a little bit more.
Ball 4. Second walk surrendered by Leiter to go with 3 hits and 1 run, and he's at that 100 pitch mark. Leiter's college debut on Tuesday, February 18th here against South Alabama of 2020. Did not allow a hit, surprise. 5 full innings, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. He faced 16 batters and struck out 12 of them.
Yeah, I definitely remember that debut last year. Obviously, you know the name, and you kind of heard about him coming up through the ranks in high school, and then finally once he got here, you kind of wanted to put eyes on him, and he was as advertised and really has just continued to impress ever since that point.
Janie Rogers 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but ahead 2-0. Popped up. See if this stays in down the left field line for Bulger. Makes the catch. Tough play, and Bulger held on for the 2nd out.
And made the play behind the mysterious tent there in left field. A heck of a grab. looks for the wall, goes back towards it. That's exactly how you want to play that. A little bit of wind you're struggling with, but Bulge, you're able to reel it in.
It was called a foul ball, but would have landed very close. Of course, not a lot of foul room down there. You saw in the corner Nick Maldonado hot and ready in the Vanderbilt bullpen. Jack Leiter will face Shane Marshall, the 9th place hitting catcher who struck out each of his first 2 times. Leiter a chance to complete 7. 3 hits, a run, and 3 walks against Leiter. 0-2.
Yeah, Leiter can smell it. I mean, he's trying to get through this inning. He knows the pitch count's probably getting up. You see Maldonado in the pin getting hot. Leiter definitely wants to finish this thing out and not let his teammate come in and take this inning away from him.
Fouled off.
A good setup pitch and fastball up in the zone got him to chase and fouled it off. So look for him to try and get that good slider on the outside corner to get him to chase.
Another foul ball.
Yeah, went right back to the fastball. You saw him shake off a few pitches. The pitches come from the dugout. And Rodriguez calls his own game as well, so they kind of tag team it. But at the end of the day, it is the pitcher's call. The Leiter has to be fully committed to the pitch that he wants to pitch.
Poked past third, but foul.
Looked like that ball ran back over the middle of the plate and just misses a double by a few inches.
It's as bad of a missed spot as you'll see from Leiter. Over 100 pitches here. This will be our 4th 0-2. Jack Leiter and Shane Marshall. 1-2. Leiter's last hitter either way?
I'm not sure. And you'd like to think so, because if he's not able to get him out, that gets a runner in scoring position. So you probably need to, just switch up the look. But I wouldn't be surprised if they might let him go one more.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 13 strikeouts for Jack Leiter. And we are tied at stretch time.
And take a look at this thing. It starts off at the middle of the order, goes right down. Unbelievable job. 13 strikeouts for Jack Leiter, and Commodores coming to bat, trying to get another on the board.
On the main network tonight with Arkansas and Ole Miss rained out. Treat you to a little Jack Leiter on the national airwaves. Second pitcher of the game for Georgia, Ryan Webb done after 6 with 13 punch-outs. Darren Pasqua, no walks in 20 1/3. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Coach Strickland really likes him. He's kind of the most reliable guy out of their pen.
Ryan Webb matching Jack Leiter inning for inning and really leading the way. Career high 13 strikeouts for the senior starter.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Really was pitching with a lot of moxie out there. That curveball was just lights out, both to left-handers and to right-handers. And after the performance that Georgia had last night, to come back and have that great performance tonight and really just give them another chance to win and a chance to take the series, you got to give a lot of credit to Webb.
Pasqua will face 7, 8, and 9 in the Vandy order. Jason Gonzalez first. That's ball 1 high. Looks like Jack Leiter is done after 7 as well. So this one is tied and in the bullpen's hands. Georgia took the first game of the series last night, 14-2. An emphatic win. Dogs trying to win their first SEC series of the season. They took 1 of 3 against Tennessee, A&M, and Carolina the first 3 weeks. Vanderbilt hasn't lost an SEC series since week 4 2 years ago at Georgia.
Whew. That's a good look at the cutter there from Pasqua. It's sharp, really gets you out in front. He's very reliable. No walks so far in the season. And it goes right back to it.
Strikes out Gonzalez for the first out of the 7th.
Actually, I think this was more of a breaking ball to Gonzalez right there on the outside corner. And similar shape to what we've seen from Leiter from the right side. But definitely a guy that works fast and makes quick meet of these guys.
Last time out, Pasqua did give up a go-ahead homer in the top of the 9th inning, and Georgia's lost to Georgia Southern on Tuesday. Southern won that game 2-1 at Foley Field. What Scott Strickland basically said, he executed his pitch. That was just really good hitting by Christian Avant of Georgia Southern to win that ball game there. Spencer Jones, a strikeout and a single. Vandy with just 4 hits. Georgia has just 3. Infield shifting with 2 strikes and the possibility of the bunt off. That's the third baseman Harbor going all the way over to play at second base. The bottom of Vandy's lineup has been good. Spencer Jones 1 for 2. Cal Hewitt 2 for 2.
And with all the data and all the spray charts that are available on pretty much everybody in the conference, I mean, you have the ability to, we just saw there, Harbor move all the way into the 4-hole and try and steal that hit.
Stays 1 and 2 on Spencer Jones.
Take a look at the defense here. Got 3 guys there on the right side. That is Harbor, the third baseman, in between second and first.
2 and 2 on Jones.
Yeah, Jones definitely has the ability to go the other way and is not shy about doing it.
There's strike 3. Darren Pasqua strikes out his first 2.
A well-executed pitch right there, right underneath the hands of Jones' fastball. Jones 6'7", big guy. Kind of get that ball underneath his eyes, tough for him to see it. He was a little bit late on it. It takes a lot of guts to go in there on the big guy.
Calvin Hewitt comes next. Before this weekend, Vandy had only used 12 starting position players. That's their core group. Calvin Hewitt becomes the 13th with Cooper Davis and Isaiah Thomas both not on the active roster this weekend with injuries. Hewitt, one of many options to go out there in right field. His strengths, defense, and speed game. Been on base twice today.
We saw Hewitt lay down a bunt. Also have a little squeaker in right center field, but definitely doing his part as a replacement.
Hits this one hard to left center. Got it. Nice running play by Ben Anderson. Calvin Hewitt nearly snuck one out of here in the wind, but it's still 1-1 after 7 innings. Jack Leiter keeps his great season going with 7 innings of 1-run ball, 3 hits, 3 walks, and 13 strikeouts.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable performance from Leiter. It was really fastball slider heavy, executed the fastball on both sides of the plate, and just another solid performance for Leiter. And you see him getting congrats from Rocker and the rest of the staff. 108 pitches. And he's one after another. Leiter, really what you want out of your Saturday guy.
He's replaced by fellow sophomore and fellow Jersey boy Nick Maldonado, been one of Vanderbilt's best relievers this year. Came in out of the pen right after Rocker yesterday, got all 3 outs in the 6th inning. This is his 11th appearance, and he's become a very valuable back end of the bullpen piece who can give Vandy some real length too.
Yeah, you see the stats there. 20 strikeouts to only 3 walks, a guy very consistent. Coach Scott Brown really likes him out of the pen as a good compliment to both Rocker and to Leiter. But here comes in trying to get a shutdown inning. A good fastball, about 93. He's actually developed a good cutter as well. And keeps the ball down in the zone, gets a lot of ground balls.
Maldonado pitched out of the bullpen last year sparingly in Vanderbilt's 18-game season. Actually came to Vandy not knowing if he would be an infielder or a pitcher. Now that he knows he's a full-time pitcher, he was able to really focus on his mechanics, what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong. And the results of that introspection have really shown in his sophomore year.
Hey, look at him. I mean, he's definitely an athlete, can do a lot. I mean, if you see him get off the mound to field a bunt, I mean, he does a really good job. He comes from an athletic family. His dad played ball at Manhattan College. Sister Alexa played softball at Notre Dame. Brother Frank played baseball at Pitt. And his brother Chris actually committed to play at Clemson. So a lot of baseball in Maldonado family.
Top of the order for the Dogs. Ben Anderson's first. That's how Vandy engineers it to flip the lineup over for a new reliever. And Maldonado's got his first out. Nick Maldonado and Luke Murphy have been the two best out of the Vanderbilt bullpen, with a lot of guys getting in there, including a couple freshmen, Garrett and Riley.
Yeah, that was something that Coach Strickland was kind of praising the Commodores on, is just their pen. I mean, once you get past Rocker and Leiter, you've got guys that come out and, I mean, they're 92 to 94 and just kind of a clone of each other coming, you know, from the left side or the right side.
First pitch swinging, Cole Tate to Carter Young. 2 up, 2 down on just 3 pitches for Nick Maldonado. It's the type of play we've seen Carter Young make a lot.
Yeah, but that's Maldonado's bread and butter, just getting guys to swing over some balls. We see Carter Young, and he loves to play on the run. This is a really quick field. I mean, the ball gets on you quick, but he plays a lot of balls on the run. He's very aggressive and gets a good short hop. One of the better defensive shortstops you'll see in the country.
Corey Collins next, taken all the way in a first pitch strike. Carter Young started every game at shortstop this year and last year. And dating back over the last 5 seasons for Vandy, it's been basically the same guy every night. This one's fair. Into the right field corner for Collins. It'll be at least a double, and he stops at second. Georgia with the go-ahead run in scoring position.
It looked like Maldonado just kind of hung this one up a little bit too high, ran back over the middle of the plate, and Collins was able to make him pay. Able to squeak it right inside that line. Another one of these opportunities. You got a guy in scoring position, 2 outs. Vandy's had a couple of them. Georgia's had a few. Just somebody's got to come through.
Georgia scored in the 4th, Vandy in the 6th. Both starters out of the game. Jack Leiter went 7, Ryan Webb went 6. Maldonado gets an off-speed strike into Connor Tate. Tate on base 2 out of 3. A walk against Leiter in the 2nd, and a single to left field against him in the 6th. Swing and a miss. Cutter down and away from Nick Maldonado. Both teams have left 5 men on base today. Not a ton of traffic out there, but a couple of busy innings for both defenses. Just 8 total hits in the ball game. One and 2.
I tried to come back to that cutter again. Maldonado just trying to extend that zone a little bit more outside. Very good command. We saw only 3 walks so far on the year.
Just 2 runs against Maldonado out of the pen this season. This is 11th game. 2 and 2. Connor Tate laying him off, down and away.
Yeah, great job not chasing that one.
Nick Maldonado backing up his buddy Jack Leiter. Summit, New Jersey, and Short Hills, New Jersey on the bump for the Doors. Trying to keep this game tied. Called strike 3. CJ Rodriguez frames it up, and Maldonado strands a 2-out double.
A heck of a pitch here in a great spot right in the lower part of the zone. A nice stick there by Rodriguez. Connor Tate did not like it, not one at all. The Commodores able to come in, try and get a run.
In Nashville, great SEC baseball game so far. Max Hers along with former Vandy infielder Andrew Harris. Darren Pasqua back for the 8th inning. Pitched a 1-2-3 7th against the bottom of the order. Now Vandy will start at the top in this tie game with Enrique Bradfield Jr., Carter Young, and Dominic Keegan. Ryan Webb went 6 full for Georgia, struck out a career-high 13. Jack Leiter also struck out 13 over 7 for Vandy. Pull side chopper for Bradfield. Blaylock gets it with plenty of time. And Enrique Bradfield Jr., Vandy's leadoff man and an on-base machine, remains 0 for on the series.
Yeah, it's kind of just indicative of Vandy offense so far this series. Kind of starts and ends with Bradfield. If Bradfield's not going, and the guys behind him struggling a little bit too.
Carter Young reached on an error in the 4th. He's the only Vandy player to reach base safely in all 28 games this season. The error does not qualify for that here in game number 29. Vandy is 24-4. Pretty remarkable to think about. 8-2 in SEC play.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just the consistency from game to game is really impressive. We saw that stat earlier, which is after Vandy loses a game, the kind of the streaks of winning. Really don't lose back-to-back games too often.
Commodores lost a 9-game winning streak yesterday. And on Tuesday nights, they've won 23 straight midweek games.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt hasn't lost a midweek game since February 2019. That has been an area of weakness for many SEC teams over the last few seasons. Here's what happens when they lose this year. This is experiment number 4.
Yeah, not a lot of back-to-back losses where the Commodores able to kind of reset and come back strong.
There's a called strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Darren Pasqua.
Nice little backdoor slider here by Pasqua. Take a look. Starts outside the zone, comes right back in. Might have a little generous from home plate umpire Tyler Simpson, but a nice frame job by Marshall to bring it back over. Carter Young not too happy with the call.
2 up, 2 down for Dom Keegan, who struck out all 3 times against Ryan Webb. Figure Keegan the type of hitter who would benefit from a lefty on the bump. Not the case tonight.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Webb. I mean, just the big sweeping breaking ball was really tough for the left-handers and the right-handers tonight.
1-1. Georgia used 6 pitchers yesterday. Pasqua was not one of them. He is fresh and extended here today. Weak contact from Keegan makes it 1-2.
Yeah, we knew with a close game, we're going to see Pasqua. I mean, Coach Strickland really likes to come right to him out of the pen and kind of their go-to guy, and he has been as advertised.
Scott Strickland said he's seen a lot of hitters start to sit slider on Pasqua. That's when he gets the fastball by you.
Right. Yeah, because the fastball, I mean, it's not going to blow you anything by you, really. I mean, it's 88, 89, but you know, you set it up after the slider and it makes it that much faster.
2-2. Game 3 of the series will be 2 Central tomorrow on SEC Network Plus. We will have it for you. We're expecting a new Saturday starter, or usually Sunday starter for Vanderbilt. The Commodores listed TBA as their Game 3 starter this weekend. It had been Thomas Schultz. We will see if it's somebody else, perhaps Sam Leboki, Ethan Smith, maybe even Patrick Riley for the Commodores.
Yeah, a lot of guys could get that call tomorrow.
It'll be Jonathan Cannon for UGA. Will it be the Dogs going for the sweep or our rubber match? First, we got to get through this Dom Keegan at bat. He's seen 7 pitches. Off those Nike cleats with the state of Tennessee in black and gold on the strap. This one's fair and into left. 3 infielders on that side, but Dom Keegan got it through.
Yeah, they played him towards the shift up on the pull side. He was able to get it through the shift. If they had played it normally straight up, I think Cole Tate probably would have had an easy play at this, but right there through the left side. A heck of an at bat and able to win it. They still only have 2 outs, or I know they do have 2 outs, but looked like he was trying to push it, trying to get in scoring position.
Up next, the man responsible for Vanderbilt's only run, Jack Bolger, a solo shot in the 6th to tie this baby up. Here is that home run that made it 1-1.
It was a fastball up in the zone. I mean, super impressive just how he's able to get that thing out of here. He's a strong kid. You have strong hands, good extension. You kind of think with the way that the game is going, probably going to be decided by a solo shot. I mean, there's not much going on offensively, back to back. So you got to think, one missed pitch, one ball leaving the yard could be the difference maker on both sides.
Dating back to last series against LSU, Bolger's been hitting really well, but not the soft stuff. Freshman from Bowie, Maryland, has never worn batting gloves. He said he tried it for 10 games when he was 12, hated it. Loves the feel of the bat in his hands. 2-2. His zone recognition is wise beyond his years.
Yeah, he does a really good job. He doesn't chase many pitches outside the zone. Really takes swings at balls that he can handle.
Chop foul. Bolger stays alive.
And these are the ABs that they're really going to carry these guys, especially these young guys like Bolger, kind of through to the end of the season. You're in a tough game. You get 1-1, runner on first base, 2 out, bottom of the 8th. You just got to grind out some at bats and get some runners and get some guys home.
3-2. Keegan holds it first.
It's a nice pitch by Pasqua, just trying to get him to chase, but Bolger was not going. It starts out on the outside part of the plate and extends out a little bit more.
Keegan can run on the 3-2 out pitch. CJ Rodriguez on deck for the Commodores. Darren Pasqua and Jack Bolger. Line drive, base hit to center. Keegan heads straight for third, and the tying run's 90 feet away. Vandy a chance to go ahead.
That's what I was just talking about. I mean, that's 2 back-to-back really good ABs, and good ABs with good outcomes for the Commodores. There's a ball that kind of ran back over the middle of the plate. It was down, but Bolger did a really good job staying with it. He had Keegan on the move with the 3-2 count, so he was able to move up an extra bag. So now you got a great opportunity here. Yeah, you do have 2 outs, but you got a runner at third base. An opportunity to, cause a little commotion.
Back-to-back 2-out singles. Vandy in position to jump ahead here. Shane Marshall out to talk with Darren Pasqua. Cole Tate will join him as well. Vanderbilt with hits 5 and 6 in this inning. A chance to jump ahead. If Vandy scores here, suddenly they're 3 outs away. Commodores haven't led. Georgia scored on an RBI single by Riley King in the 4th inning against Jack Leiter. Vanderbilt on Bolger's solo homer in the 6th that you just saw. It's the first time we've seen a pitching coach tonight. Can we introduce you to Sean Kenny? Ryan Webb went 6 innings for UGA, 13 strikeouts, 1 run. Jack Leiter also 13 strikeouts over 7. Darren Pasqua, certainly the man UGA wants on the mound here. Big matchup coming with Vandy catcher CJ Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think a good mound visit here, just making sure everybody's on the same page. I discussed the pitch selection to Rodriguez. Got a few arms there in the pin. Got a Gowan, and can't see the other one.
Jaden Woods hiding behind the turtle. Some pivotal innings were still up for grabs in the Georgia pen as recently as a week ago. All of a sudden, it feels like they have a deep bullpen.
Yeah.
We haven't seen either of those guys in the pen yesterday.
Right.
And we didn't see Pasqua yesterday either. And that wasn't for lack of bodies. They used 5 out of the pen. All right, here we go. Pasqua and Rodriguez with Vandy trying to take the lead. 1-0. Rodriguez tonight, a ground out, a walk, the final pitch of which was an intentional miss, and a strikeout. That was all against Webb. Two and 0.
Yeah, good spot here if you're Rodriguez. I mean, got a plus count. And Pasqua having trouble locating some of the breaking stuff, so might get a straight one here you can take a whack at.
One of Vandy's best fastball hitters. Ropes this one to left. Vandy Boys take the lead. Keegan's in. Bolger's at third. CJ Rodriguez with a go-ahead double.
And we talked about, I mean, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to step up. And CJ Rodriguez comes through. The Commodores are pretty jacked up. There's a fastball up in the zone. He had the plus count. And he was ready for it. Able to rope it right down there in the monster. Tim Corbin just had the windmill going. Getting Keegan home and getting those other guys moved up.
CJ Rodriguez fired up with the Vandy hit signal. I'm bigger than you. Most of the time CJ Rodriguez is not bigger than you, but he's got the big hit in this ball game. Scott Strickland getting Pasqua out of this game. Vanderbilt's got their first lead, and all of a sudden they're 3 outs away from knotting this weekend up. CJ Rodriguez getting the love in the Vandy bunker as the Dogs bring on Jack Gowan. For the game is junior right-hander Jack Gowan. 13th trip out of the bullpen, been very good over abbreviated outings. CJ Rodriguez back in the bunker during the pitching change, getting some love from Pat Riley, Troy Leneve, his own personal water service. Jack O'Dowd playing some whack-a-mole. Oh, there you are. Big hit in this ball game. Vanderbilt hasn't had to play from behind or play out of tied games late much.
Yeah. They've usually kind of had a big lead and been able to ride that into the 9th inning, but it's good for them to be tested early in the season, knowing that, you know, further on in the season it's going to get a lot tougher and you get better competition, but it's also good for young guys like Rodriguez to have those experiences, to have opportunities and actually to succeed in those.
CJ Rodriguez, the offensive hero right now for the Commodores. Vandy a chance to add more, 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs for Parker Nolan, who is hitless tonight. Couple of strikeouts and a ground out. He was the last man to face Webb on perhaps the catcher's interference challenge that we still don't know what Vandy was challenging.
All we know is the batter was out.
Vandy did not win the challenge, we know that. Here's Nolan against Jack Gowan. Jack Bolger at 3rd, Rodriguez at 2nd. Pasqua got the first 2 outs pretty easily. Bradfield grounded out softly to 2nd. Young struck out. And 3 straight 2-out hits by Keegan, Bolger, and Rodriguez. All quiet at the Hawk. 25% capacity. Those allowed in have been great tonight. But there's something about that silence on a late game pitch.
Yeah, with the limited capacity, you are able to hear a lot more of kind of the guys on the field with their communication. So I have enjoyed that a little bit.
Nolan the other way, towards the monster, and out of here. 5-1 Commodores on a 3-run bomb for Parker Nolan.
Well, you know, Max, we talked about the opposite field power from Parker Nolan. He kind of proved you right there. Holy cow. That'll get this quiet crowd bumping. And that was not a bad pitch at all from Gowan. That's a fastball low in the zone. Yeah, see a little leg kick. Good extension. I think just ran out of here on the short porch in left field. Also gives Vandy a little bit more breathing room. Definitely didn't think one was going to do it for the following inning, but a little exclamation point from Parker Nolan.
3rd college homer for Parker Nolan. They've all been here. They've all been in that direction. They actually had another one Tuesday that we thought was fair, was called foul and not reviewed. But that one ain't coming back. Nolan, one of 8 Vandy players to hit his first college home run this season. A largely inexperienced lineup, only had 3 hitters who had played in an SEC game.
Yeah, we talked about the big question mark for Leiter, you know, coming from last season, the success that he had, and then the preseason, you know, how is he going to perform in an SEC ball? But he wasn't alone. I mean, there were a lot of guys through this lineup that had no SEC experience, let alone the entire, you know, the grind of the entire SEC experience. So just excited to see some of these young guys get in there and start performing.
This is one of those guys, Jason Gonzalez. He'd had 60 SEC plate appearances before this season. Cooper Davis had 76, Isaiah Thomas had 23, and Dom Keegan had 11. In tandem with that, only 3 pitchers on this roster had pitched against an SEC team prior. David Macias duck and cover down there, Vandy first base coach. See that baseball in batting practice tomorrow. Ball 4.
You got to remember, all this has been done with 2 outs. I mean, Commodores have done a good job manufacturing ABs.
Vanderbilt this series, just 2 runs last night, 1 tonight here in the 6th. And now breaking out for 4 on a double by Rodriguez and a 3-run dinger for Nolan.
Yeah, that's what this Vandy offense can really do, is and guys 1 through 9 can really hurt you. Everybody through the order has an opportunity to leave the yard.
Gonzalez takes second, and he'll take third too. Second throwing error on the catcher Marshall, going that way.
If I'm correct looking at the stats, it doesn't look like Gonzalez has an attempt on the year, but he does run well. Was able to sneak one. Kind of caught Marshall sleeping a little bit. You see the delayed throw. With the passed ball, he was able to get all the way to third.
That was Gonzalez's first steal attempt of the year. He was 3 for 3 in his college career prior. Vandy a chance to make it a 5-run lead. Jack Gowan came in, gave up the homer. Walk Gonzalez now dealing with Spencer Jones, who's 1 for 3, a single, couple Ks. Two and one. Very nice curveball. Georgia will have Riley King, Garrett Blaylock, and Parks Harbor in the 9th inning. Three and one on Jones. 5 straight Vandy hitters have reached with 2 outs. 3 and 2.
Yeah, definitely got to bring that ball up a little bit with the 6-7 Jones. Gowan really trying to lay the bottom part of the zone.
Called strike 3. Jack Gowan strikes out Spencer Jones, but Vandy gets 2 big swings. RBI double by C.J. Rodriguez, then a 3-run Oppo Taco over the monster for Parker Nolan. Vandy goes ahead 2-1 and leads 5-1. Into the 9th we go. A crooked number. 5-1 Commodores. New pitcher for Vandy, as well as a couple of defensive changes. The Vandy closer, junior right-hander Luke Murphy, is into the game. Throws in the mid-90s and has only allowed 1 run all season.
Yeah, Murphy, he's just going to come right at you with the fastball. I mean, as you mentioned, Max, high 90s, big sweeping breaking ball. But he's not messing around. I mean, he's just going to come straight at you and say, if you're going to try and hit it, just try and do it. And he has been lights out for the Commodores so far this season.
Couple of defensive changes for Vandy. Matt Hogan into right field. Junior takes over out there, and the right fielder Hewitt shifts over to left. So Bolger out of the game. That's a defensive change the Commodores have been making more often than not, leading late. Luke Murphy struck out the side in the 9th inning on Tuesday against UT Martin. That is what he's done, well, more often than not in the 9th inning this year. He's done that 4 times. 5, 6, and 7 in the Georgia order. Riley King, Garrett Blaylock, and Parks Harbor. First time Georgia has batted while trailing all series. And they're down 5-1. King the other way. Foul ball.
You see 96 there on the gun. Yeah, Murphy's not going to try and paint any corners. He's just going to send it right down the expressway.
Murphy's a junior from about 45 minutes north of here in Cross Plains, Tennessee. Went to East Robertson High School. Had Tommy John surgery, missed his freshman year. Last season, he faced 18 batters out of the pen and walked 9 of them. This year, he has gone 11 1/3 innings with 21 strikeouts and just 5 walks. Only allowed 3 hits and a single run. Keegan makes the catch. Murphy's fixed to his control, nothing mechanical.
Right.
He says it was all mental.
Yeah.
He basically had 2 different pitching coaches. His summer pitching coach, Mike Rupenthal in the Northwoods League, and Vandy pitching coach Scott Brown tell him, just throw strikes. They're not going to hit it.
Exactly. I mean, with his stuff, with his velocity and the way his ball moves, you don't really have to think too much. You just kind of chuck it in there. The guy's going to have some tough times hitting it.
Blaylock's behind that one.
Yeah, but you always love to hear stories like Murphy's. I mean, obviously getting Tommy John is it's a little bit different now than back in the day, but still coming back from that injury, you know, it does mess with your mind a little bit. But for him to really recalibrate himself and come right back and have the year he has so far this year and really been the stopper at the end of the game for the Commodores is just a great story. A good spot there at the bottom of the line.
Been ahead of both King and Blaylock 0-2. Hit to center. Bradfield to the track. Out of here. 3rd homer in 2 games for Garrett Blaylock. Played his freshman year at Vandy. Back at the Hawk and swinging for power. That cuts it to 5-2.
But welcome back to Hawkins Field. Holy cow. That ball went in hard, went out even harder. I will say not a great effort on the catch by the fan in the outfield, but regardless, it is a fastball in the outside corner, a little bit elevated. But Blaylock might need to get the girl in the orange a glove. See the teammates looking on.
Parks Harbor comes next. That's the first homer Luke Murphy's allowed in a Vandy uniform. And like Georgia did against Rocker yesterday, ambush the fastball. Good things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, with Murphy, you know he's going to try and get ahead with the fastball, so Blaylock was able to jump on it. But again, with the cushion of the lead, and the solo home runs really aren't going to beat you.
2 outs with the homer in between. And Murphy's an out away. He hasn't thrown a ball yet. 0-2 to all 3 hitters. Vandy trying to even up this series and force a rubber match tomorrow. Georgia won in blowout fashion yesterday, 14-2 with 7 homers. Vandy trailed 1-0 in this game. Jack Leiter went 7, exited a 1-1 score with 13 strikeouts. Janie Rogers hoping not to be the last out for the Dogs. Vandy scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th. C.J. Rodriguez, a 2-out RBI double into the left field corner. Parker Noland, a 3-run homer over the Green Monster. Two and 1. Rogers 2 strikeouts and a flyout. That was all against Leiter in the first 7 innings. Nick Maldonado pitched the 8th. Luke Murphy now in the 9th. Line drive. Foul ball. Home run distance.
Yeah, we saw a slider from Murphy a few pitches back, and haven't really had to throw much of that this inning. It's been really heavy fastball. See if he tries to finish him off upstairs with the heater again.
We're full. You're right, Andrew. He has not had the off-speed this inning.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to flip it in there. Just kind of flicked out of his hand a little bit.
Vandy Boys win. Some late offense and a great evening of pitching helped Vanderbilt even the series.
Yeah, I think it was just fantastic pitching all the way around between both Leiter and Webb on the other side for Georgia. But you know, Leiter gave the Commodores an opportunity to really shut the door on these guys. Bulger, Rodriguez, Nolan did the job offensively and got a rubber match tomorrow.
Jack Leiter, 13 strikeouts over 7. Vandy 1 in the 6th on a homer by Bulger and 4 big ones in the 8th. They win it 5-2. Game 3 is at 2 o'clock Central tomorrow on SEC Network Plus. We will have it for you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday night in Nashville. For my partner Andrew Harris, producer Doug Stanton, director Travis Porterfield. My name is Max Hers. Vanderbilt 5, Georgia 2 on SEC Network Plus.